Hey, welcome back to Pen Orchard, everybody. You guys ever forget that you started a project? Well, I have. This was supposed to be a Christmas gift from my father-in-law. It was going to be a really nice chessboard. Got started on it. Got it glued up. It's sitting over there somewhere. And then for some reason, Christmas came and went. I never finished it. So now I'm almost a year behind, and I have to get this finished and delivered before Christmas. Otherwise, well, it's a whole year late, and we don't want that. See this bad boy? This is the chessboard. Not much of a chessboard, is it? Nope. This is made out of walnut and cherry, and I've got it all squared off, and it's kind of segmented. And you'll see when it's done. It's going to give it a pretty gnarly look. This is all glued up and planed and ready to go. I'm going to do a little light sanding on it, and then we're going to cut off the sections, and we'll do our glue up. Then we have to build the actual case. So stay tuned. All right, let's start some sanding. We're going to use 4 different grits. I've got the 120, the 180, the 320, and the 220. I didn't say that in order, but you get the point. You work your way up. Well, we've got the chessboard sanded down, so now all we have to do is go ahead and cut it up into the sections and then glue it up, and then we'll build the case for it. Now that everything is sanded down, we have to measure the board to see how deep I can make each cut. I want to keep this thing pretty thick so that it doesn't start to crack. I know from experience with end grain cutting boards, if I make them too thin, they start to crack, and I don't want that. I want this to last like longer than we do. So I'm going to measure this real quick, and then we'll start making our cuts. When you cut on a table saw, your teeth, maybe at a max you want 1 tooth length above what you're cutting. It's safer on your hands, and actually I don't really know why, but that's just the rule of thumb, so I do it. But I know it is safer, so we like that. No more cutting thumbs off. I'm going to clamp the chessboard to my miter gauge. When you see my clamp, it's a little ridiculous, but I don't have anything smaller that's strong enough that will hold, so we're just going to use the 64 inch. So what we're going to do first, we're just going to cut 1 blade width off of here to make it even. That way I know that I'm getting perfectly square cuts, and I won't have any leaning to deal with when I glue it up. Plug in the saw. This table saw did a fantastic job at cutting this perfectly straight. So now I'm going to bring it out 1 inch for every cut, and then we'll have our sections. And I'll have a little left over, and we'll see what we can do with that later on. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a stop block on my fence, and then I can just push the board to the stop block, and then I'll know right where I'm at. That way, it's a perfect cut every time, and I don't have to try to measure and make everything perfect. We do this 7 more times, and we're going to have a chessboard. So this is the basic idea of how it's going to look. You can see all the squares in there. Once we get it sanded and get it glued up and then planed down, it's going to look really neat. This actually came out really nice, and once we get some oil and finish on it, it's going to make that just glisten. So I'm going to take a tea break and we'll be back.